I'm Cadence the drummer, and this is my corner. If you're new to this channel that I share with my twin sister, where we talk about music, art, and product reviews, welcome. But if you have been rocking with us since we were the Chocolate Drops, welcome back. Today I want to talk about my first video audition that I recently submitted. I was asked to do a performance, but then later found that I had to submit an audition video. And that was pretty nerve-wracking because I didn't want them to see my video and did not want me to perform. I know it's pretty silly to say, but I did definitely think that. I was able to share with you just some of the tips I learned in the recording process. First tip I will share is make sure that you feel confident in what you're going to play. Don't choose anything where the tempo's too fast or too slow for you. Don't choose anything where you feel like you're not 100% confident in the material, because when you hit the record button, you'd be surprised what you do or what you don't do. When you hit record, it's like your mind goes completely blank and all the things that you rehearsed go out the window. Next tip I want to give is practice your material a lot of times, because when you get nervous, you want to be able to allow muscle memory to kick in until you feel confident enough for your nerves to subside. Because of course there's going to be a healthy amount of nerves that you have because it's something that is important to you. You want to do it well, but you don't want to let that nervousness overtake you in the performance. Having the muscle memory is kind of like a backup that will kick in while you're letting your nerves subside as you're playing. And that's something I found to be pretty true as well, because I'll be super nervous in the beginning, and then as I'm doing a better job, I'm like, okay, I feel more confident, more in control, more like I've rehearsed it. Next tip I would say is make sure you give yourself as many opportunities to record yourself playing the material. That way you get more comfortable with hitting record and knowing that it is showtime and that it's something important. That way you don't freeze up on camera and make careless mistakes because you're so nervous. Another tip I would say is making sure that you have a clean background. It took me a good amount of time to actually, and I'm looking in this direction because that's actually where I recorded the video that I'll insert, and then you guys can see it. You can see just a snippet of my audition. But one thing I noticed about it is that you want to make sure that your background is clean. Having junk everywhere makes it look like you don't care, even if you do. And it just shows that you are maybe not as prepared to record as you thought. Definitely have a clean space. If there's anything that you can add to enhance your audition experience for the viewer, definitely add some things that might be relevant to the video that could help further add to the value of it. Another thing I would say is make sure that you have proper lighting. When I record, I use a beautiful ring light because as chocolate people, we need good lighting. Everyone needs good lighting, but especially chocolate people, because sometimes we're the ones that are usually overlooked. So we want to make sure that we have our lighting in place so you can see all of this goodness the way it's intended to be seen. Another thing I would say that's important is using the backing track, having the audio that you can add to the video once you've recorded. Back in the day, and I'm still new to recording myself, but back in the day, you would just turn up the volume on your audio and then record, and it just doesn't sound good. It would be too loud. It's just not a good look. So just making sure that when you record your video that you have a separate audio backing track to add with it. That way you can play with the levels and make sure that it is pleasing to whoever's watching your video, that the levels are correct and that the sound is not, what's the word? You just want to make sure that the levels are correct, so that way it's enjoyable to watch and to listen to. Another tip I will give you is put yourself together nicely. Put on an outfit that is appropriate to whatever it is you will be submitting an audition for. I know for me, I always have to consider if a top is too low cut or if something is too revealing or too tight, especially if I'm playing vibraphone or drums. Those are things I always consider, but I also want to look really nice. So just finding the happy balance between functional, effective, and stylish is definitely key. And in terms of your hair too, I would say that's something to consider. If you're going to be leaning forward a lot, you want to make sure maybe your hair is pulled back, or if I know I'm going to be playing vibraphone or drums, I try not to have any rings or bracelets on for that very reason, because they get caught on things. So I do, keep those things in the back of my mind when I am putting together certain looks. yeah, so make sure it's something appropriate for the event that you are submitting the audition tape for. Remember to smile and look pleasant. Whenever I record videos, sometimes if I'm really in my concentrating phase, I just have a stone cold look like. And it looks like I'm not enjoying myself. And that is something that you may find on the video I'm going to include, is that it doesn't look like I'm enjoying myself as much as I am, because it's partial nerves and partial concentration. So that's a tip, bonus tip that I want to give you, is make sure that you look like you're having a good time in your video, because then the people watching your audition video will be having a good time watching you. Lastly, remember to have fun. Don't take yourself too seriously. Take it seriously enough that you do a good job, but don't take it so seriously that it stresses you out and that you don't have fun. If you've made it to the end of this video, you know what you need to do. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching.